Today on Virago 24/7, we're having an honest conversation about alcoholism, sobriety, and what it really takes to break free from cycles that no longer serve us. My guest is Colleen Clifford, author of Life Beyond the Binge, and a coach with Pure Potential at purepotential.com. While Colleen's work is often associated with food and binge behaviors, her message reaches far, far beyond that. At its core, her work is about addiction, emotional regulation, and the deep-rooted patterns that keep us turning to substances like alcohol, to cope, numb, or survive. In this episode, we talk about how alcoholism often shows up quietly, especially for high-functioning women, why willpower alone doesn't work, and how healing begins when we address the emotional drivers underneath the behavior, not just the drinking itself. If you're someone you love has ever questioned their relationship with alcohol, this conversation offers clarity, compassion, and hope. Let's get into it. Hi, I am your host, Leonette Talley, and you are listening to Virago 24/7. Virago is Latin for female warrior, and 24/7 is for all day, every day. Virago 24/7 is a weekly podcast that brings diverse women together to talk about life and our experiences in this world. We share our views on self-love, mental health, marriage, children, friendships, and really anything that needs to be talked about. Here, you will find everyday growth, everyday healing with everyday warriors.
People who have walked the same path.
I love that. And isn't it also, I feel the same, and it's exciting when you have success, right? Like you finally get past it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And just offer hope to other people that it's possible. And, even if you think you're at, there's no hope, there is hope.
Yes. I've actually had 2 people approach me in the last month who are concerned that they may have a drinking problem. And I was telling Leonette the other day, it's crazy that people are coming to me about that because I never in a million years thought I would be able to be sober for an extended amount of time.
Really?
Oh, yeah. No, I did not think that.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
I just pressed record. While you guys were talking, I'm like, let me press record. This sounds good. So for those who are joining us, this is Colleen Clifford. And I know you told me in the email that you are getting away from coaching because you have is it a company called Pure Potential where you coach through not just alcohol, but binge eating, anything like that? Is that what it is? And I know you said you're trying to get away from that and you want to be a speaker. You have a book that is it out already or is it coming out?
It's coming out. It will be published in May 2026.
And it's called Life Beyond the Binge. So welcome, Colleen Clifford. And Briana Deck has been on the show many, many times. And so Briana Deck is also joining us. So I didn't want to interrupt you guys, but
thanks for having us.
Yeah, this is great. I think you 2 ladies are my youngest podcasters I've been on with. So
Really?
I love that.
Really? Listen, I'm not that young, though.
23 and 24.
I'm
just kidding.
I just turned 46 in November.
You look 23.
She's a baby. She's 31.
31, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, awesome. Way to go. So empowering.
So let's get into it. So where do you want to start, Briana? Because she is a fisherwoman. You're from Seattle, correct? She's from Seattle.
Nice.
She has her book coming out. I know you want to talk more about alcohol and alcoholism and all that stuff. So
how long have you been sober?
Well, I quit once. So I'm old. I'm like 62. You girls are young. And I love that. But I quit once, probably around 48 for 2.5 years. And there's a long story about why I started drinking past that. But then I quit again permanently, I feel like, almost 4.5 years ago, actually, in December. Yeah. Yeah, thanks.
That's exciting.
Yeah,
So what got
it
you,
is exciting.
what led you to get to that point?
This time,
Yes.
yeah. Well, the first time I quit because I saw myself on a video and I thought I was okay taking the video. And I looked back the next day and I thought, oh my God, I was so trash, which was an eye opener for me. And also at the time I was getting older and I thought this isn't who I want to show up. This isn't how I want to show up in the world. Like my nephews were there and I was drunk at Colleen and I thought this has to stop. But then, time away from drinking, and my type of drinking is binge drinking. So I didn't drink every day. I didn't consider myself an alcoholic, and I didn't even think about alcohol every day. So after a couple of years of not drinking, I started talking myself out of having a problem because I hadn't done anything like that in a long time. So I'm like, I'm okay, I can drink. So it crept back in, right? And so then fast forward to when I quit this time, I had, and this is the thing with binge drinking that I write about in my book, is that it only takes one moment to change your life forever, right? In drinking, and especially in binge drinking. And I'd gone to a party, my best friend's party, the same, the same girl actually. Then I quit the first time. We were drinking buddies. But I went to her party and it was just going to be an afternoon barbecue. And I ended up getting trashed and I drove home drunk. And on the drive home, I remember, and I thought I was okay to drive, right? My friends were all saying, stay the night. And I was like, no, I have to get home. I promised my partner I'd be home and I always keep my promise. So, but 3/4 of the way in the drive, seeing double line, I shut one eye and I knew then that I was really drunk because you only see double when you're drunk. And I just made a prayer, get me home safe, and I swear to God, I will quit drinking. And so the next day I woke up and I was like, I like to keep my promises. So even though I was afraid, I was like, how am I going to do this? It was like, I got to stop.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
When you say binge drinker, what does that look like? Because I like to think I'm a binge drinker, but I haven't done enough research to classify myself as that.
Yeah, I appreciate that question and this is what my entire book is about, really. And also, my late husband died by alcohol-related suicide.
I'm sorry.
And so binge, yes, thank you. It's really tragic. And this is part of my purpose of why I want to get this message out there is binge drinking is 4 or more drinks for a female in one incident or 5 or more for a male. And it can, so it's just like, we call it partying, right? That's what I always called it. And so throughout my entire life of my drinking, like I said, I'm 62 and I started drinking in college in my 20s. I didn't think I had a problem because I didn't drink every day. And even when I did binge drink, things didn't always go wrong, right? You can binge drink at a party and you're with your friends and you might have cried. Like the next day you wake up and go, oh, I'm so embarrassed. I started crying. I don't know why. And your friends are like, oh, it's okay. You never drink that like that, or you don't drink like that often. So it's really easy to say, okay, I'm going to be careful next time, right? I don't know how many times I said, okay, next time I drink, I'm going to be careful. So the binge drinking is a thing. And it's really insidious because, for someone like me who didn't drink every day, it's easy to just mask the thing until you get in a car and drive home and maybe kill someone, or you wake up with a stranger in bed, or do something horrible. My late husband killed himself. I mean, those are the moments I'm talking about where you can't get that back.
How long ago did that happen with your husband?
That was 14 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Okay. Wow.
Yes. So, drinking and depression is a bad combo, right?
Oh, it's terrible.
And yeah, and so there is a hotline. I always like to emphasize this, 988, because some people don't know this. There's a crisis hotline you can call any time of the 24/7, 365 days a year. And it's not only if you're suicidal, it can be a crisis of anything going on in life. And there's someone who will a trained counselor to answer the phone and give you some help. It can be a lifesaver.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to throw that out
Well,
there in case somebody listening needs that.
thank you.
Mhm.
So, okay, so I see the difference because, like, with you,
Mine was
you're both.
I'm just like a raging alcoholic, I think.
Because you would wake up.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh at that. That was not really.
Humor is my coping
Oh,
mechanism.
she jokes about it all the time.
Yeah.
We laugh about it, even though it's not a funny
It's
topic.
an alcoholic,
But
and I laugh.
You
so.
got to.
yeah, she is, and I've had to scrape this raging alcoholic off the floor
Yes.
many times.
Yes.
So yes.
Mine was like I would. There were certain times I would try to be sober, and I think the most I was ever like truly, honestly sober, the longest was probably like 3 weeks without any alcohol. And then I would try and get sober, fail miserably. And then at nighttime, like after work or something, I would just sneak a couple of like bottles of wine, the little bottles of wine or the little airplane bottles of Fireball, whatever I could get my hands on, something I could fit into my purse. And I would drink that just to fall asleep. And I would be able to maintain that for a couple of weeks. And then there would be a situation, whether it be a social gathering or a depressive state, a fight with my husband, whatever the case may be, ex-husband, thank the Lord, whatever the case may be. And then I would get drunk. And once I like really start drinking, I can't stop until I am blacked out, sick. I would wake up the next morning feeling absolutely terrible. The worst symptom for me, I think, was like the anxiety. I sweating, feeling like I was going to pass out. And so in order to make myself feel better, I would continue drinking. If it was 5 a.m, it was 5 a.m. If it was 3 p.m, it was 3 p.m. It didn't matter when. And so in those situations, I would drink. And then I'd go like a week where I would be passed out drunk for an entire week, not eating, not drinking anything but alcohol. And I would wake up, obviously, physically feeling absolutely terrible, alcohol withdrawals. And that was a repetitive cycle for many years. That was the worst. The nights that I would, have a couple shots to fall asleep, I would wake up feeling pretty shitty the next morning, but I would go on benders where I would drink for 5-7 days in a row and do nothing but drink and sleep. And that's it. And I can't function. I cannot function with alcohol in my body at all.
Wow. Yeah, that's different than my kind of drinking because I would wake up hungover and I wouldn't drink.
Yeah. Not
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
every time I woke up feeling that terrible, that was my solution, was drinking. And then just pass
Yeah,
out
the
and
hair of the
forget
dog,
about it.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I can say I've done that in Mexico or on vacations, when I woke up hungover and started drinking again, but it wasn't like at home. I wouldn't
Right.
do that. Yeah. So yeah, no, yeah, that's a different, well, kudos to you for
Thank
stopping.
you. Thank
That's
you.
like, yeah, wow.
It's the hardest thing in the world, getting sober from alcohol. I'm not sure about other substances, but it's definitely the hardest battle I've ever faced. But I'm more proud of myself than I've ever been in my whole life. I've been sober a year and 6 months, and I never
super.
thought I would see 6 months. So
Wow, that is so great.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So question, Colleen. So like,
Yes.
you're talking about your binge drinking and that you've done it since your 20s, you're in your 60s now. What motivated you? I know you said your husband played a part in it for you to finally stop and then get into like helping people and coaching them. And how did that all come about?
Yeah, thanks for asking. So I had a health coach certification already. I got that like in 2009, but nobody back then was doing health coaching and nobody even knew what it was. And the internet was just starting. And so I was afraid to jump into that career because I needed money and I commercially fish. So I was like, okay, this was fun, but I'm not going to make any money coaching. So I started, the way I quit drinking was through This Naked Mind with Annie Grace. I don't know if you've heard of her.
I've heard of the book. I've never read
Yes.
it.
Yes. So I Googled help, right? As we can do now. I woke up the next morning after driving home drunk and I was like, alcohol help. And her book popped up. And then I also saw her alcohol-free experiment for 30 days, which was free. And so I ordered her book and I joined the alcohol-free experiment. Well, I couldn't do it. I couldn't, succeed. I tried. And so I tried it again. So after the third time of trying and not succeeding, I thought, okay, I'm just going to pay for her program, which is what she offered. And it's so funny because it wasn't even very expensive. I just didn't want to pay any money. It's so interesting now. It's the best money I've ever spent, right? So I joined her program, and once I did, it was like you get on coaching calls. It's like this kind of thing. We're having these real conversations, and about 6 months into it, I clicked. Like I knew I was done drinking, and I already knew I could quit because I had before. And I asked her if I could go into her coaching program because I already had a coaching certification, a health coaching one, and I wanted an alcohol-free coaching. And so I just joined her alcohol-free coaching certification program, and I went through that.
Okay.
May I ask a question?
Yeah.
Today,
Yes.
do you, because I ask because I've tried like Alcoholics Anonymous and things like that. Do you do anything like that today to stay sober, or what helps keep you sober today?
Yeah, for me, fortunately, the mindset shifts I learned in her program, I don't want to drink. It's not like I can't. It's just I choose not to. And so it's so liberating because everyone has I believe we're all different, and different programs work for different people. Like I know some people that Anonymous is like their thing and they love it and it works for them, and that's great. I love that. So I kind of feel like what I try to encourage people who ask me, how did I quit? There's a lot of options out there. There's Women for Sobriety, there's coaching. And for me, the Annie Grace approach just really vibed with me, and it was changing how I felt alcohol served me. I realized I was telling myself the wrong stories, that I needed it to have fun, that I needed it to feel like I was, people at the party might think I was funny, just all the reasons I drank. And and so the coach is there. We work on changing our mindset around alcohol. And so what it just kind of did for me is like, I have alcohol in the house. I don't even look at it. My partner drinks, not a lot. Now, if he drank all the time, it wouldn't work. Mm-hmm. And we talk about that. I'm like, I don't guilt him. He wants to have a drink, go for it, But I always say, if you're falling down drunk, it's not going to work. So,
for sure.
So I guess I do put a little guilt on him.
Yeah. I struggled with the AA in the beginning because whenever you're first trying to get sober, I feel like it was kind of shoved down my throat. Like, you have to do AA. AA is the only thing that's going to keep you. And I tried so many times and I just couldn't, I didn't vibe with it. I would leave there and want to drink, okay? Like, it was just, I did not like it at all. And so I haven't gone to an AA meeting since I first got sober a year and a half ago. Excuse me. And I agree. I feel like something shifted in my mind. I feel like I grew tired of the repetitive, exhausting cycle that is alcoholism. And I know that alcoholism is something I'll have for the rest of my life. But today, yesterday, and the 365 days before that, I just don't want to. I don't want to. I don't. Mm-hmm. I know it doesn't serve me well. I know that it's not best for me or for my kids. And so it's a huge blessing that I just don't want to anymore. I honestly, whenever I think back, I'm like, I don't even remember what it feels like to be drunk or to be tipsy.
Isn't that great?
It is. It's amazing.
I do tell people though that to have caution, because cravings, I'm going almost on 5 years, and the cravings, the patterns we have created with how we drank, sometimes they'll appear in a situation. Like, right. I used to drink a lot with my cousin in Arizona after horseback riding. take. And so when I go to visit her, I went to visit her, and all of a sudden I had this huge craving. Now it's so weird because I don't want to drink. It's not even my identity anymore. Yet I had this craving to have a beer. But so I go, okay, so what? It's not going to last forever. I know I don't want to have a beer. And, it's interesting how it happened where I used to always drink. And so it's just kind of like a reminder to people that, you can still have a lot of years of not drinking and a craving might happen, but we don't have to freak out about it. It doesn't mean you have to do it. And even if you do take a sip of a beer, it doesn't mean it's over, right? Like you don't have to start at day one again. It's just like, tell yourself, okay, remind yourself why you're not drinking. That's what I do. Because I've had a couple cravings, like that, kind of strong ones, and it's just like, whoa, where's this coming from? I haven't had a craving since I quit. So it's kind of weird. So I just throw that caution out there too, in case you do get a craving, like have your tools of how you're going to get past it.
Do you remember after getting sober? Because obviously whenever you're, and I consider myself even a year and a half in, pretty new to sobriety, very new to sobriety actually. But do you remember when those cravings first started to hit? Because in the beginning, you're like so gung-ho and like so excited to be sober. So I feel like that kind of alleviates the cravings. But do you remember how far into getting sober those cravings occurred?
Yeah, for me, the ones I was just talking about was just last year. Yeah. But for me, when I quit drinking, I had cravings the first week. Because I had a habit of drinking every day, not every day, but when I did drink, it would be in the afternoon.
Right.
Like around 3 or 4. And so I had to figure out why I was getting those cravings. And I discovered it was most of the time because I hadn't eaten much all day. I just needed to eat. And then my blood sugar went back up and I didn't have a craving anymore. So it's kind of like sometimes we have to figure out why, like maybe there's a pattern to our cravings. And notice where you're at, what's happening. Like, are you coming home from work exhausted, tired, had a rough day at work, and you want to start drinking? Okay, what can you do different? That kind of thing. Just kind of pay attention. But yeah. So for me, here's one. You talked about Fireball. So I commercially fish, and my partner does too. And I came home just in September, and for some reason, I don't know why. In our refrigerator, I opened up the vegetable drawer. I kind of was seeing what he left behind because he left after me. There was a Fireball, a shot of Fireball, one of those little things you get at the, maybe at the 7-Eleven, whatever. And I looked at it and I'm like, so I recorded it for Instagram. I'm like, oh my God, I want to drink this Fireball. Like, I don't even drink Fireball, but I could because nobody's around, right? And, but wait a minute, I don't want to drink Fireball. I don't drink anymore. So what am I going to do? I'm just going to throw it away, and I'm going to eat something or go for a walk. And it was just kind of interesting though, how I did have that thought that I could drink this Fireball and nobody's, but I would be lying to myself.
Absolutely.
So what's the point of that, right?
I had a very similar situation like that happen maybe 7 months ago. I had a friend come stay the weekend with me at my apartment. She drinks Miller Lights, like a case of Miller Lights a day. But she left, and I was cleaning up after she left, and I found one. She had done this a couple of times, but there was one Miller Lite in the very back of my refrigerator, and I had those same thoughts. No one would know if I drank this. No one would know. But I ended up FaceTiming someone and dumping it down the sink because I had to play the tape all the way through, right, and understand the consequences. And I think that the lying aspect, I grew so tired of it because I would tell people yeah, I'm sober, or I'm trying to get sober, or I don't want to drink, and I would go home and drink. And that's exhausting. I felt like a fake. I felt like my whole life was a facade. That's exhausting. Leonette and her husband, I'm very close with them. So I would tell them yeah, I'm sober, blah, 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 and then go home and get drunk.
Or I'm an alcoholic.
Yeah. And I never want to lie that way again. And I know that Whenever I would say like, yeah, I've been sober 30 days knowing damn well I drank last night, that's exhausting and it's a terrible feeling. And it's not because I'm a bad person, it's because I'm an alcoholic, right? And it's so freeing to be able to look the people that I love in the eyes and be like, not a drop. I haven't had a drop. And it's the first time I've ever been able to be like truly honest with myself and my loved ones. And yeah, it's a good feeling.
So congratulations. That's so cool. It's so empowering, right? To
It
like
is.
really know, like you're not living a lie anymore.
Absolutely. Yeah. It was all a lie. Like it was just one big lie that I kept going, and they knew I was lying, but I just, alcoholic.
Just kept lying.
Just kept lying.
And the funny thing is, like, we know you're lying.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't even understand.
Yeah.
I just call her out. I'm like, you're lying.
Yeah.
Like, so just drop it.
I'm so close with her. I know what each of her facial expression means. So I'd be telling her, like, yeah, I've been sober for 2 weeks. And she's like,
okay.
I'm like,
you girls are so cute.
I'm like, you don't have to convince me of this. You're the one that has a problem, not me.
Yeah.
You ladies are true friends. It's really adorable to see. Like that's what friends are for, right?
Yeah.
Like a real friend is gonna and even stick with you, even though she knows you're lying.
She did.
We stuck with her.
She's seen some things I'm not. She's seen more than I've seen because I don't remember them.
So, and that's awesome.
I have a question about your book. So it's called Life Beyond the Binge. So I'm assuming that it's not just about alcohol. Like, what other addictions do you like to coach on?
I just like to. I'm an expert of my lived experience, and so that's what I kind of focus on. I was a binge eater as a kid in high school. It's not something that became, it kind of stopped in my 20s. So, but I do remember that experience, and I know, I like to help people with emotional eating, but binging is binging, right? It's like trying to, it's what we do, each of our own habits to make us feel better when we're uncomfortable. And it's a way we've learned to cope, to make, just to make ourselves feel good. Whatever it is, if you're binge watching movies or if you're gaming or smoking pot or whatever your choice of feel good is, it's a behavior we've just come to rely on.
If you're
Sometimes
comfortable,
we're not even aware we're doing it.
Can you tell me what that means? I've heard binge eating, and I truly don't understand exactly what that looks like. I know there's like binge eating, binging, and purging. Can you tell me what that looks like?
Yeah, sure. It's kind of like when I had that problem, it was like you just get I can relate it to like drinking alcohol, where you just get started. Like if you're eating some chips, you come home from school is what I was doing, and you start snacking, right? And before you know it, you've eaten a bag of chips, and then you move on to, ice cream, or you just keep eating. And it's like when you're doing it kind of unaware, you don't even really realize you're doing it until you like go, oh gosh, I ate all this stuff. And then you feel terrible because you ate all this stuff. And you start all that self-talk of I have no control, or what's my problem, I look fat, all these things. It can lead to bulimia, which is where people throw up, partly for that reason, because they don't want to gain weight. So they're going to go in the bathroom and throw it up. Or just even that throwing up can be a release, because you like fill yourself up and then you empty yourself, and you're kind of like, oh, it's just very kind of complicated. So the first step is just like, sometimes people can't name their feelings. Like I, as a teenager, could not name my feelings, meaning I didn't know I was depressed, or I didn't know I was, whatever my feelings were. So, it's getting awareness, getting help, really. I mean, that's the first thing.
Yeah.
But a lot of us are afraid to ask for help, especially if we're doing something we're kind of ashamed of, or we think that we might get judged for. Like someone might say, well, just stop eating. What's your problem? Like, just put the bag of chips down. And like, well, it's not that easy.
I struggled with bulimia for many, many, many years. I would say from the time that I was 16 or 17 up until I got sober from alcohol. And I would say that's something that I worry about more so than alcohol, even still. Because it was just something that I did for so long. And it was, I talked to a therapist about it and to try and find out why. I'm a thin girl.
She's little. She's like 5'2".
I'm like 4'11" and I'm 90 pounds.
I always give you more inches. I'm like, she's 5'2", and she's like, I'm 4'11".
I'm 4'11".
You carry like yourself as a tall person.
Yes. But so mine wasn't about the weight. I was not concerned about the weight at all. Mine started when I was younger. I grew up in the foster care system, parents in and out of prison. I lived with different family members and stuff like that. And there was a lot of times as a kid that I was starving, like literally starving. And then whenever I got my first job around 16, I was able to buy my own food. So I would buy my own food and I would eat it. And then it was almost like subconsciously, I was nervous. Like, when am I going to be able to eat again? I have this food here. So I would make myself throw up so that I could eat more. And it had nothing to do with weight gain or body image or anything like that. It was all about, when's my next meal going to be? Like, I just wanted food so bad. And obviously when you start doing that, it just becomes a thing that you do. And that was another one of my addictions was food, I would say. And the purging part of it was very therapeutic for me. It was like I was in control of something. And that's what my therapist and I came to the conclusion of. So that was tough.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, because a lot of people aren't comfortable talking about it. And it's beautiful you are, because it's very common, really, right? And I appreciate your take on your experience, because it was different than mine, but I can relate that when I was bulimic, the purging was therapeutic too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's exactly as you said, the way you're saying. I never went to counseling for it. I just stopped on my own. So I never really got to get to the heart of why.
Do you mind me asking how long ago you stopped?
Yeah, in my 20s. So
okay.
It was like 42. Yeah.
Okay.
And I stopped when I went commercial fishing because it shared quarters. I didn't want anyone to see me or hear me.
Mm-hmm.
So I just stopped. And it was, I think another reason I stopped was I cook on the boat. So my eating became more, I've found that I'm a person that likes to eat small amounts throughout the day. So I think I just got stabilized, kind of like maybe I was missing nutrients or something. I don't know. But a combination of that, I think, is why. And just overall getting healthy, mentally, more mentally healthy, where I didn't rely on it. So, yeah.
Do you think yours was more surrounded around body image? Or I know you said you didn't really get to the heart of the problem, but...
I think it was body image. And when I was a teenager, definitely body image. So I was a small person in my family, the smallest one. And once I started getting into high school, I played soccer. I was gaining some weight, and I didn't like that. I wanted to still be the tiny little Colleen that everyone always said, "Oh, you're so cute. You're so little." Well, I wasn't, I was starting to change. And I think that was part of it too.
Got it.
Yeah, definitely body image, because being a certain weight is still important to me. I still maintain it. So I would say it's in a healthy zone now, but I have to just monitor it, kind of like drinking. Just be aware and pay attention, and just talk about it if I have to, right?
I've struggled with that a lot too since getting sober from alcohol and stop the bulimia. But I would say I struggle with that more today than I do alcohol, because I got so nervous about doing it again. Especially I went through a divorce and just a lot of changes personally, which are always triggers for me. And so then I just kind of like stopped eating. I couldn't eat. Like I had no appetite. I got down to like 89 pounds. And so even to this day, that still makes me incredibly nervous. anytime I have like a big meal, I have to talk myself down or whatever. But now I'm trying to get more on the healthier side of things.
You started working out, which is great.
I go to the gym with my boyfriend sometimes.
She's like,
not consistently.
She started dating and he works out and she's like, I don't do the gym, Leonette. I said, girl, it's good for the mind. Like, I love to work out, even though,
I want
even though it's hard.
habits.
Yeah. I'm like, this is good for you. This is good for the spirit and the mind and the soul, all of it. Yeah.
It's when I'm alone. Like, if I'm alone and I have a big meal, I struggle with it more. If I'm with my family or I'm with my boyfriend, I would say it fades more and more every day, but it's always in the back of my mind.
For you, and it is like baby steps. Like every time you talk yourself down, and you succeed, you're like getting there to a healthier you, right? And even if you don't talk yourself down, think of all the times you did. So this is one of the things in Annie Grace that was kind of a big aha for me. So we like to focus on what we're not doing right? As human beings, especially women. So in a 30-day, she'll often say, okay, because she doesn't start you on the program and say you have to quit drinking. It's kind of like you choose to quit when you're ready. So a lot of people join the path and they're still drinking. So the thing is if in 30 days you drank 5 times, well, that's 25 times you didn't drink. So rather than focusing on the 5 times you drank, focus on your progress of the 25 times you didn't. And so it's kind of a nicer way of reframing how we're doing in life.
I like that.
I do like that.
Because that can apply to pretty much a lot of things in our lives. Yeah, I like that.
I like that a lot. And that's almost like the opposite of AA a little bit. They count the number. They're more number oriented, day oriented, I guess you could say. Yeah, that's my
okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, I just try to be careful of what I say.
Yeah. Oh, I see. I'm bad at that. I'm bad at that.
She just says it.
I just say it. Yeah, but bulimia was a huge struggle. It was. I felt like I struggled with it as much as I did alcohol, except people could see that. They could see when I was drunk, right? They couldn't see whenever I was making myself throw up or overeating. They couldn't see that part. So bulimia was easier to hide, which also I think made it more dangerous too, because it's so easy to do.
Yeah, but it's also something that you're doing, right? And so if it's like being your own. You could be like, it's like done in secret. So that's kind of not a good feeling, right?
Yeah,
it's kind of like
for sure.
hiding the issue. But there are a lot of people struggling out there. So, right? So if anyone is, it's really common. I was so surprised when I finally talked about it, how many girls in high school I went with. I said, oh yeah, I used to eat and throw up. I was like, oh really? My God, we should have had a group back then, like what's going on, girls? Like what's happening? Yeah.
I have a scar on my hand from making myself throw up where my teeth were. It literally left it's pretty faded now, but it was.
Damn, did you stick your whole hand?
Yeah.
It's like right
that.
there. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
This was my scar. It's faded now, but it was bad. So
I don't think I've ever noticed that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's because it's faded now, but it used to be really bad, and it would get chapped, and it's embarrassing, but it's faded.
Yeah, well, congratulations on getting where you're at, though, and I hope you figure out how, if it creeps back in, how to get where you need to go.
So I have a question. I don't know if I heard it on the podcast. I listened to you on a podcast, so I don't know if I heard it there or if it's on your website. What is the 95-5? Is that a rule? Is that a method? What is that exactly?
Yeah, it's something I discovered for myself that I think might be a common problem for people. When I was looking back at how I stayed stuck in my binge drinking cycle for years, I've come to find it's kind of like a 95-5 factor, meaning 95% of the time when I drank, I considered myself a normal drinker. You know, I didn't always drink too much. I didn't drink every day. And even when I did binge drink or party, nothing bad happened, right? Except a hangover. But the 5% I call, that's where within the binge drinking, the partying side, there's a wild card. And I never knew when it was going to flip up. Because, for instance, I should be dead around 6 times. I've jumped in a river. I should have drowned. I've drove home drunk. I considered that a possibility to die, right? Driving home
sure.
drunk. I've done that a couple times. I fell asleep driving once. Yeah, it just goes on. There's a few other. I fell off a balcony once and should have died.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah, at a party. I was bleeding internally and I didn't know it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about is that this is, and I'm not preaching for anyone to quit drinking. That's not my message. My message is, how is the partying working for you? And just know that if you are binge drinking, there is that wild card and it can flip over anytime. You know, you could become, I have some instances in my book, a gal I work with on the boat, she's 25, and the first time she drank was just at 25. She never really wanted to drink, but some people encouraged her, and she was like, okay, I should go at least try drinking once, right? So she went out with some of the girls on the boat after work, and they went to a bar, and she remembers the last drink she took. She was on the dance floor dancing with her friends, and she blacked out. And that's something we haven't talked about yet, but she blacked out, and she wakes up in the morning on the boat, because when we work shipyard, we stay on the boat. So she was sleeping on the boat, and she doesn't remember anything past that last drink.
Wow.
She's still drunk, right, in the morning. She goes to work. The boss at the time tells her, go back to bed and don't show your face, because he should fire her, right? Because you're not supposed to be drinking while you're contracted on shipyard. But so her friends tell her that they left the bar and these two guys approached them and offered to give her a ride home. And everyone was kind of drunk, right? Her friends were drunk too, but not as drunk as she was. And they're saying, no, 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 we got her. And the guys are saying, oh, she's hard to hold up. And anyways, they're trying to pull her away from their friends. And they have like this shot of something that they want to try to put in her arm. They're like fighting over,
Oh my gosh.
her name's Maria. Yeah, they're like fighting over Maria on the street. And the girls tug her away and just split. And then the guys just kind of backed off and let it be. But so then they drove back to the boat. They were drunk too. They probably shouldn't have been driving, but nobody got hurt. Nobody got a DUI. I mean, she could have been thrown in trafficking.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. That's the first
Yeah.
thing I thought
Terrifying.
of when you said that. That's
Absolutely.
the first thing. Wow.
Me too. And if her friends had left her, she would have been,
Oh yeah.
who knows what,
Oh yeah.
right?
Wow.
So this is what I'm talking about. And this has been my experiences. I talk about kind of the tame ones, but I have a lot of really crazy ones. But and that's just what I'm talking about in the binge drinking cycle.
I think I went through a period of that. If now that I understand what the binge drinking, what that looks like, oh heck yeah. In my 20s for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
And I should be dead too a few times actually.
Ditto.
Now that we're talking about it,
What do
I'm
you-
like, I should be dead a few times.
What do you
yeah.
mean? Like you went through binge drinking?
Oh, yeah, of course. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Did you ever were you ever worried you had a problem?
Yeah, maybe. Like, yeah, I would say
The next day.
Yeah, definitely the next day is like, Lord, I will never do this again.
Because
And then-
I've known her for like 15 years, something crazy.
Oh my gosh.
But I've never seen you drunk.
I think I stopped being sloppy drunk like mid 30s.
I've seen you drunk, but I've never
mid
seen
to
you.
late 30s.
I've always envied her for that because we would have parties here at the house, and I would be on a different planet, and she's always able to.
But also you're a lot younger than me. I've had my time. Trust me. If you ask people that were like there at the time, they would say, yeah.
Dang.
So
I need to dig into some of those stories at some point.
Yeah, you just don't know when to stop.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
And like you said, Colleen, like I didn't drink every day. But when I did, I went balls to the wall. That's for sure. I just went all out. So I don't know. I think just growing and then you just get tired of it.
Yeah.
And then and it's like how Colleen is saying, like you kind of, I say it's pep talks, like you walk yourself through it and it's like, but why? Like, why?
But why?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just get tired. So now I know, I mean, I drink, I do like to drink, but I am more aware of when to stop. Like, okay, it's time to stop and it's okay.
Yeah, you're always very classy when you drink.
Girl,
I'm very trashy when I drink.
You caught me on my classy era. Like I wasn't
But
like
as you get older too, it's kind of less acceptable.
Yeah.
Kind of the partying kind of slows down.
It does.
For sure.
It does. Like you get tired of it for some of us.
I have a question for you, Colleen. Now that you've been sober for almost 5 years, right? Do you find yourself like hyper vigilant of other people in your life? Like I find now, like the further sober I get, I find that when people are what I think to be maybe abusing alcohol or maybe going down the same sort of path I did, I want to help them. I'm very hyper aware of it, and I want to help them. And I'm like, okay, I can't help anybody. I know for a fact if love could have got me sober, I'd have been sober a long time ago, right? So I know for a fact that nobody's ready until they're ready. But I struggle with that sometimes. I just want to like fix everybody. I'm like, no, you don't understand how good the sober side of life is, So do you find yourself in that same situation ever?
I feel like you, yes, we cannot change anyone else, right? And so it for me, it's sad to see, like, yes, being on the other side, you're like, oh my God, I was so duped. I duped myself for years that I needed alcohol. And so I would love to just shout that from the top of the roof. Like, we don't need to drink to have fun, right? But also we all have our own journey in life of what it is we need to learn. And sometimes other people's experiences are what they need to get to wherever they need to go.
Right.
And so I just try to be an example. I don't waste my time anymore, that's for sure. Like, I don't want to hang around. If the party is turning a different level, I leave, it's just, and I'm always happy I'm not drunk too, right? Because I'm going to wake up and work out or whatever. And I know they probably aren't.
Yes.
So I just think it's so nice to finally be, for me in my life, of being intentional with my time and who I want to spend it with. I don't really want to waste time anymore with people that I don't want to be with, or situations, or anything really. I mean, time is so valuable.
Yeah.
I used to waste a lot of it drunk and hungover.
Me too.
Yeah.
I used to watch TV. I would be laying on the couch, either drunk or hungover, and I would watch TV. And I remember so vividly, one time, I was like, I want to be normal. Like, I want to be able to, they were like out eating at a restaurant. I couldn't go out to eat at a restaurant right now if I wanted to, because my anxiety is so bad. I'm sweating. I'm nauseous. My head hurts. And so, I thank God I never have to feel that way ever again. But I have a family member who I think might be struggling a little bit with some alcoholism, and she's young. She's only 2 years older than me. My older sister, and she called me 2 nights ago, and like, I don't know if she remembers calling me or what, but I just felt so sad. I just felt so sad because I know what that feels like, and it wasn't a normal like, hey girl, I had a couple drinks tonight, it's a holiday. It's become a pretty common thing. and a black eye on her face and stuff like that. So I'm like, I want to jump in and be like, wait, you don't have to do this, or let me try to help you. But I also know, number one, I've only been sober a year and a half, so I don't think that I'm like the sobriety guru or anything like that. But and I know that people aren't ready until they're ready. But I was just curious if you had any advice.
Your year
on
and a
that.
half's a big deal. Don't diminish it, my dear.
Thank
Your year
you.
and a half's a huge deal.
Thank
You
you.
really are.
Thank
And
you.
you are. I would look to you as someone who really has a lot to share and a lot of experience, and you really can make an impact for a lot of people. Because, like, I have a question. How did you stop? Because your style of drinking was totally different than mine. And it sounds like a really hard shift.
It was. I have two children. I've got a 13-year-old son and I've got a 2.5-year-old son. So as much as I'd like to sit here and say, I did it for my kids, that was a part of the reason, yes. But I got fucking tired, to be honest. I was drinking and I've gone to detox probably 5 or 6 times, like facility detox. I've been 1013, which is a mandatory suicide hold. I've gone to like an actual rehab 3 times. 3
I was
times.
gonna say, yeah.
So I tried, but never because I wanted to try. They were telling me, or my kids, or my ex-husband, whatever the case may be. It was never. And so I
feel like it was the last time you went to rehab.
Detox. Yes,
Like you went down to Florida.
And I drank after that.
I know, but I think after that, after you came back and drank, I don't know what happened, but you were just like it was like an instant like shift. I was
in a terrible marriage, a very, very abusive marriage. And I wanted to get out of that marriage. I wanted to get out of that situation. I ended up divorcing him, was still drinking even after my divorce. And I just felt like the smallest human in the world. I ended up going on a girls' trip, got wasted drunk, like turned away at the airport and came home drunk, drank on the plane, drank in the Uber on the way home, like just drunk. And I came home and I couldn't see my kids because I was too drunk to see them. And I woke up the next day. My mom actually came to my apartment, and I woke up the next day, and I just lost it. I was like, I genuinely, for real this time, I can't do this shit anymore. I'm done. So she ended up taking me to a detox center in Dunwoody, and I was there for 5 days. And I literally, when I would go to detox and rehab before, I would do all the classes and all the AA meetings and everything. I was like the superstar AA girly up in there. This time, I stayed to myself. I just stayed in my room. I would go to the classes that were mandatory that I had to go to. I just stayed to myself. I prayed. I wrote letters to her husband's like a father to me. I consider them my parents. I wrote letters to my parents. I wrote letters to my kids. I wrote letters to my ex-husband. And for those 5 days, I don't know. I truly don't know. I knew I couldn't continue. I knew that I wanted more out of life, and it was debilitating. Alcoholism for me was debilitating because I couldn't function. There are several alcoholics who can completely function or get up and go to work. I cannot function. So my whole life, that's a stretch. My drinking life was literally just laid up in bed, sick as a dog, or blacked out, and I was exhausted. So wow. I prayed a lot, and
we were praying for you too.
Yes, I know you were.
That moment, I remember your mom calling, and normally I'm like, I drop what I do and either go get the boys or go figure her out. And I told her mom, I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, it's been years of doing this and coming to her rescue, and I'm tired, and I have kids, and I have a life. And it was like, I think 9:00 at night. I'm like, I'm not doing that because I know it's going to go into the morning, and
the
who
day
knows?
After that,
yeah. And I'm just like, I can't. So you guys got to figure this out. Like, she's like, I know, I get it. And so I guess that's when she found your, the detox place. But yeah, like at some point you were going to just lose everybody, and it was going to force you to either just continue alone or make some changes.
Yeah. And I truly, like, I feel like I shit on myself a lot for alcoholism and my upbringing and things like that. But I really do feel like I'm a strong woman, and I feel like I have a purpose, right? I feel like I want more. I'm meant to do more. I'm meant to be more. And I could never do that if I was drinking. And I just got to a point where I was like, I want more for myself. I want more for my kids. I want to fall in love one day. There were so many things I wanted to do, and I knew I couldn't accomplish it unless I got sober. And now that I'm sober and all of these wonderful things have happened, and it's truly like everything that I wished for, not everything, but a lot of things that I've wished for have come to fruition. And I was telling my dad the other day, because I have someone else in my life who came to me asking me for advice. And I was telling him the other day, I'm like, it's actually insane being sober and looking back at the way I used to live, and how I'm like, I don't know how I survived it. I should have been dead. Absolutely. Like the last time I went to detox, I was having to take shots on the hour drive to detox because they were telling me like her heart will stop. I would drink. I don't know how much I would drink every single bit that I could. Like I've had seizures. I've been hospitalized. There was no boundary for me.
Your story sounds kind of similar to a gal I've met in the podcasting circle, Gina Kunandian, and her podcast is called A Shine Within. And she has a story similar to you. You're like a younger version. You guys have a lot in common.
Really?
You should check her out. Yeah, think about checking her out if you haven't. A Shine Within. She's just really a beautiful human being. And you radiate the same kind of vibe.
I would love.
Well, and I always tell her, like, because she is very hard on herself. And I just feel like God uses us in so many ways. And even in our darkest moments when we think we're like just worthless, like he's going to use that. And you're going to be able to touch other people and guide other people because you've been there. Like you're not, you've been there, you've done that. And you can say, I know exactly what you're going through.
Yeah.
And so I just think he's going to use you in those ways. And just when that negativity comes in, just remind yourself, like, I have a story and he's going to use it, for his glory. So that's, yeah.
I would eventually love to help other people. That would be a huge goal of mine. Not
you are.
Well, thank you.
Now, today you're showing up. Yeah.
Thank you. I would love to eventually.
How do you think that would look for you? Like,
honestly,
do you have any?
This one's told me for years and years and years. Even like before I got sober, she's always told me like you're gonna help people. Like I feel it. You have a purpose. I never felt that, and even to this day, it wasn't strong. But honestly, when I had someone come to me and say, "Hey, I think I might have a drinking problem," like, and try and get advice from me, I was like, "Holy shit! Somebody's getting advice from me about drinking," and that kind of sparked something within me, and that, like, frustrating is not the right adjective, but that feeling of wanting to shake them and be like, wait a second, life is so much better without it. Not for everyone, right? Because there are people who can drink in a very healthy way, but for the people who aren't able to, like, I literally wanted to shake her and be like, just please stop now. You don't have to live this way, whatever. Obviously, that's not the way it works. But that sparked something within me where I'm like, I don't know what it would look like. I don't know if it's just helping random people or friends of friends or getting into coaching. I honestly, I don't know.
Yeah.
You don't have to spend thousands to go through a program to be a good coach. I learned that. So I just wanted to share that with you because I think when we're inspired like this, like I spent a lot of money and I don't regret it. I'm just saying that you have a lot of strength and confidence, but we just have, and I just had to believe it. So I spent a lot of money going through these programs so people could tell me I was ready when I've been ready for a long time. I just had to believe it.
Right.
So as Lynette's telling you, and it's in you, it's and in you and in me, we just have to believe it.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
I think like if I were truly to think about that question in my perfect world, like motivational speaking. That would be something
I
I
can
would
totally
love
see you
to
doing
do.
that. I can totally see you doing that.
That would be something I would love to do at like high schools or, whatever the case may
Yeah.
be.
Well, you know what? We have to stay in touch because
I would
that's
love
who
to.
I want to reach with my book.
Yeah.
And so this girl I was telling you about, the younger gal, we're gonna go together. I've already told her, she's Hispanic. I said, we're gonna, they want to hear from you. They don't want to hear from this old lady. So I need you on stage with me.
Oh, I love
And,
that.
nice.
No,
yeah,
I love that.
so we have to stay in touch because
Please.
my 2026 is morphing from coaching into speaking.
Mm-hmm.
And so where are you guys located?
Atlanta.
We're in Georgia.
Atlanta.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Are you still in
cool. Well, I've always
Seattle?
wanted to go to Georgia, so maybe we'll have to get something lined up for your schools in Georgia.
Are you still in Seattle?
I am, but I like
I
to
want to
travel.
go to Seattle.
Oh, you do? Okay, come to
Absolutely.
Seattle. We have a spare bedroom. It's wide open for you girls. You both have to come, okay?
I love it. I would love to. I would love to.
Seattle's on my list of places I really want to go.
So are you going to...
This is so cool.
Yeah.
So when your book comes out in May, is this what you're trying to do, is like,
yes,
go to high schools and younger audiences to share your book and your wisdom?
Yes,
That's great.
It's really to make an impact. It's when my late husband died after I went through all my grieving and all the stages you go through after suicide. I made a promise to him that I would do something, and I thought it was volunteer for the 988 hotline, suicide hotline, but it's turned into this, and it's really cool when we find our purpose.
Yeah.
And I realized that, like you were saying, all our struggles, when we get to the other side, they're meant to have happened. Really, I can't help people without having gone through my struggle.
Exactly. Yep.
And I'm passionate about it because I know what the struggle's like, and I want to help.
Yeah.
I love that.
So yeah, it's so yeah, in answer to your question, 2026 is looking like a lot of speaking, more writing, because I really do like to write, and getting on podcasts. So thank you for saying yes to me.
Thank you for reaching out. I just always love to talk like this, like talk openly and honestly about our struggles and about what we're going through. Because a lot of times as women, we just want to put it
suppress.
Yeah, suppress and put it all inside and act like we're handling everything. And when you start talking vulnerably and open and authentically, then you realize, wow, I'm not doing this by myself. I'm not living this life by myself. And I just love when people are just authentic, because it helps everybody when you just speak truth.
And and especially with suicide, like when I went to this on a vacation with some women, and we were talking, and I talked about my late husband's death by suicide. So we started talking about suicide, and it's amazing how many people will tell me, just not hardly even knowing me, their experience with either suicide or I've thought of killing myself, and it just brings up really real conversations about serious stuff, that you're like, wow, I'm so sad you were in that place. Like, you're not alone.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other people with the same thing going on. And it doesn't mean you're crazy. It just means
you're
need
human.
to help each other. Yeah. We need to help each other.
Yeah, we do. We do.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, Colleen, I thank you so much. Is there anything that you want to share? Anything else about the book, about your message?
No, I just hope, your listeners have fun listening and gain something from it. I'm doing this for impact, and it's my passion. So the way the universe works is things will flow, and I do keep my promise. So when you guys haven't, this isn't the last you're going to hear from me.
I love it. No, I love it. Girls Trip 2026.
I am serious.
Yes. No, we're serious too.
We'll be there.
I'm dead serious. I will be there.
Okay, well, we'll have to get a meeting together past this.
I
love it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll leave you with this. You're so hard on yourself. Take a moment. Sit back. Marvel at your life, at the grief that softened you, at the heartache that wizened you, at the suffering that strengthened you. Despite everything, you still grow. Be proud of this. Thank you so much for listening to Virago 24/7. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and please give us 5-star ratings. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Virago 24_7 and on Facebook at Virago 24/7. And just connect with us and share your story. We'd love to hear from you.